And so hopefully, I went and I was at my husband last night going, I don't know, my computer. He says, what you don't understand is there are still a lot of cell towers down in our area because of the hurricane.
Yeah.
So he said probably the internet signal isn't all super strong yet either.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, geez, that was frustrating to me. Okay, so first of all, does anyone have any questions about last night? Did I ever send the? We went to the Disney
Oh,
parks today, so I started to write the email, but did I send it or did somebody else or did you not?
yeah, Judy had already sent our ones out before.
Yeah.
So I would like Judy's revised version because I
Yeah.
didn't get to write down everything that she had done. Yeah.
Ah.
So if I could just have Judy's revised
Yes.
version. Yeah.
Yes, I will send that. I started the
Thank
email and
you.
then beep beep, my ride came to go to Disney World, so I had to leave. So I was like, okay, but I will send that. Okay.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
All right. So we're just very impressed on the way you are making progress. Every time we see what you've done, we see improvements all the way around. So that's very encouraging. And I just want to say one more time, the rules. Just do what feels right. And then, if we have to fix a rule, we'll fix a rule. But you're to the point now where you should just kind of let it go and let's see what happens. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen. So anyway, I don't know. Did you watch these ahead of time at all? I mean, we're going to start by watching it together one more time.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah.
Okay. So you wrote down some ideas already of some of those questions, right? Okay, good.
I apologize. I watched them a while ago.
Probably
not as fresh in my mind as they should be.
Right. That's why we're gonna watch it again right now, just to like kind of refresh your mind a little bit. Yeah. Okay, let's see. I'm getting this set up. There we go. I got those there. All right, I'm going to share my screen and we'll get started with this. It's going to take a while to get it back on. Where is it? And what happened to the Zooms? I had them up here already. I mean, the YouTubes. Oh, wait. Oh, there they are. Okay. I'm going to go to this and go, oh gosh, maybe I'm not going to do that. Hold on. I'm just trying to make it be full screen for you, which is what I'm trying to do here. Hold on. Get that going. Whoopsie. Come back here. All right, can everyone see that okay on your screen?
Yep.
Okay, good. Yep. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're not doing this one first, we're doing the other one. Okay, we're going to do the world Here I Am, and of course there's an ad.
Then
first.
Pay close attention, because Harvard science...
Yay, I got skip. All right.
Trees gonna tell to the honeybees. You'll see, I'm gonna tell.
Okay. I don't know. I can't see your pretty faces. I don't know what I did. Oh, let's do a different thing. No, I should be able to. Okay. I couldn't see you. Usually I can see you at the top of my screen or the bottom of my screen or something. Oh, there it is. Okay, gotcha now. All right. So anyway, cute use of parody words, right? And because they're singing for a Sweet Adeline audience, we all get the parody words. So of course, it's something that they really wouldn't sing out to the general public because maybe they never heard of the Melodiers or any of that. But very apropos for the Sweet Adeline audience, right? Yeah. So in looking at the things that they ask you, let's talk about the form of the song. What was the form of this song?
Intro,
Mhm.
chorus, and I think the chorus was AABA,
Perfect.
Yeah.
I think. Okay. Verse, and then a stomp that leads to the tag. I'm not sure whether that's the tag
Right.
or if it's a stomp separate.
Right. So yeah, it's kind of like a reprise of part
Okay.
A of the chorus that they
Okay.
did into the stomp, and then they went back to tempo to finish out the tag. Right. Very
Yeah.
very well done. They I believe they did a good job in interpreting what the arranger wanted to be done with this arrangement. So that's really cool. Yeah.
Okay, so you called it a verse after the chorus. I called it a bridge.
Oh, you called the verse a bridge?
So
Yeah.
should it be a verse?
Oh, yeah. The verse was used as a bridge. I guess you could call it either or.
Okay.
That usually the verse is a little bit longer than some bridges, but yeah, it could be either or. And so let's
I
see.
called it a bridge too because
Did you?
it was so different. It was so different to
Yeah.
I didn't call it a verse either, but it was very long for a bridge.
Yeah.
I think it sounded like a bridge because it was slower and more of a free tempo, but I think that was I'd have to look at the sheet music, but my guess is that's the interpret of the performers. Probably in the sheet music it's more straight, maybe.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
they didn't treat it like a verse. They treated it like a
Yeah.
yeah.
Right. Very.
Yeah, it was
very
only 8 or
observant.
16 bars, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was
With
just
16, yeah.
Yeah.
16.
Yeah. So that's pretty.
I think
long.
I called it an interlude, so we all had different.
Yeah, there you
That's better.
go.
Interlude.
Yeah.
Interlude's a good word.
Yeah, that is good too. Yeah. So either way, yeah, you all got the right idea. No matter what you called it. Yeah, that's good. All right. So then I'm looking down the list of the questions.
Just before we move on to that,
Yeah.
Jen, can I just ask you, and it sort of comes back to a music judge question too. I found their interp in terms of tempo choices, variation, when it was tempo, when it was rubato, quite confusing and actually a little bit difficult to determine form at times. It felt like there were moments where it was so drawn out in rubato that it felt like it actually lost time signature, particularly at the end of the B section of the chorus.
Yes.
That we didn't maintain tempo, at least for the 32 bar chorus, felt kind of abrasive to my ear. Would you make any comment about that as a music judge?
As a music judge, I would say something like too many tempo variations. Of course, you're going to have a variation when they do the stomp. And it really is okay to do the verse, like they kind of did it ballad style. But yes, for the entire chorus, I would expect it to be one tempo. So I would say I would probably write, make sure you keep a consistent tempo throughout the entire chorus, or throughout the entire first chorus or something. Yeah.
But it's a really tricky thing with comedy too, isn't it? Because when they were then doing the comedic lyric section, I kept on being distracted by not feeling a sense of pulse.
Yes.
But it could be because we were kind of already out of it because of the chorus, rather than it necessarily being their rubato choices there. I'm not sure. Yes,
I think that's the reason. I think they kind of did it on purpose to make sure everybody understood the parody part.
Yeah.
And so I don't know that I would do that on this performance, but I have on performances I have made the comment, don't let the parody words interrupt your forward motion of the song.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so they might get docked a point or two, but it wouldn't be a big deal. But I would definitely mention something about that.
Yeah, I felt that too. By the end, like the funny bits, when it got up to Jim Arms, that was good because you could get the comedy and it was funny. And then it kept on going with these very short phrases, short
Yeah.
phrase, stop, short phrase, stop, short phrase, stop. And it just completely destroyed the forward momentum. To me, it was just like,
Too many breaks.
yeah,
in there.
it was too much. Like, I guess that 16 bars was too much of that. Maybe the 8 bars would have been good, but 16,
Yeah.
it just start, stop, start, stop, start, stop. It was too much.
Yeah. Very hard to keep the audience rapport when it's start and stop like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a
Which
good
is an
thing,
arrangement as well as a performance issue, because you could modify that consciously as an arranger too.
oh, that's right. They could have maybe put it down to just 8 bars, to begin with, for that interlude bridge verse. Yeah. Yeah. So that's a good thing to remember. So even though on paper at the time it sounded like a great idea to use all those, and maybe maybe when the arranger thought of it, they wouldn't have, maybe they didn't expect them to do that many breaks. I doubt that those breaks were in the music. I think it's the way they interpreted it, which is their prerogative. But I would definitely say something about it affected the forward motion of the song. Yeah. So, any other comments about this part before we go on to something else?
Well, this will come up later, but I just wanted to ask you about the form of the tag. It has sort of what I'd call like an extra cadence or a false setting. Is there an actual term for that? Like it sounded like it could have finished, and then they're like, "Oh wait, there's more."
Yeah. Well, I always call that. I still call it a deceptive cadence. Is what I call it.
Okay.
I don't know if they call it that in barbershop, but yeah, it is. It's like, oh, they do that to keep you going.
Yeah, and it worked in this case because it finished well, and then it finished bigger, which they weren't really big enough by the penultimate one. So, okay,
yeah. So that's I think they used that tool, a deceptive cadence, very well to. Do
you think that was part of the arrangement?
Geez, I have to go back and listen again. Let me go back. I'm going to go back and we're going to listen to like just the last, try to do the tail end here. Let me see if I can. Let's see if I can get that to. Shout across the great divide. Yeah, it sounds to me that that probably was in the arrangement. Yeah, or we've had coaches come in too and say, "Hey, why don't you?" They made a big break. You can do a hanger and then just go, "Here I am" right away. So, or you can do like they did and make it sound like the end of the song. So it was the visual that helped us think the song was over, and then well, they added more. Yeah. That was cute how they did the great divide, divided the chorus. Good little visual thing there. Yeah. So,
Does anyone know the IM tag, the classic tag?
how does it go? Remind me.
I'm probably going to start singing around the wrong parts. I am, and then it just repeats I am for about. No, it's one of the tags that's sung a lot. I just kept expecting them to break into the I am tag because the entire tag is lyric I am.
Yeah. Oh,
I'll send it to you.
Yeah, that would be great. Nice
Great
to hear
tag.
the different ways they can do stuff like that. I never heard that one. No, maybe I did once I hear it. Yeah. Hey, so anything else about this part before we go on? Well, okay. Okay.
Yep.
So the next question I have here, I don't know, it's where do you hear interest or creativity in each part? How did the part lines created by the arranger support the dynamic plan? Do you feel that it did?
I had some pickups.
Uh-huh.
Pick up some echoes or repetitions.
Mm-hmm.
I liked how they did the dynamic treatment, all parts on the word wind. They really, I
Yeah,
like that, how they did that.
made a big deal about it. Yeah, very clever. And did you notice anything else about it, or
The bass had a good swipe at the end of the bridge.
yeah, yeah,
I have several places actually, the basses had a swipe.
yeah. That makes
And the
it,
bass hanger for a period in the tag.
yeah.
Mm.
Mhm. What I really notice about this particular arrangement is they did a good job of using the tools that were there, using the swipes the right way, and adding
Hmm.
that. And so I want you to be aware of that, and maybe go back and listen to this on your own a couple of times of how they treated the swipes, because it might help you when you're arranging something, and it needs something a little fancier here or a little fancier there, to help it be more musically interesting for the audience to listen to. So be aware of that, because all those, I love, like we just got back from Phoenix. Of course, everybody's got that keep and scorebook. Have you ever seen those where you can draw the
Oh, yeah.
costume and you can do all that? Well, listen, all my notes are great tag. Oh, I love that intro. Oh, listen what they did here. Oh, oh, I haven't heard that key change that way before. Those are my notes in there. And I just love to listen to that stuff because it helps when I go, so when I'm arranging something, I can go, oh, wait a minute, where was that? I heard something like that, and then go back and refer to it. So that's something to be aware of when you're listening to this stuff.
I think that's some of the problem with why that interlude section sounded so blocky, because there wasn't anything like that in that. It was just sort of straight stop, straight stop, straight stop.
Hmm.
And you keep expecting there to be, well, is there going to be a pickup, or is there,
Yeah,
it just, and so it was sort of like you're expecting to hear something and you're not hearing anything.
yeah. It's almost like that went on for too long. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. So, let's see, what else does it say? Anything else that you want to say about the parts or anything?
I find it interesting again in terms of writing anything comedic, because it's stronger lyrically just to have it all homophonic without any additional movement,
Yes.
so that the lyrics come through and the audience hears
Yeah.
them.
Yes.
But at the
yes.
same time, then to add interest, you can
Yeah.
have parts pick up a bit of melody and then somebody else finish the gag. You can still do a little bit of part swap for variation as long as the lyrics don't get lost, and perhaps that could have added musical interest towards
Yeah.
the end of the comedic section instead of just it all just being homophony.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Strength. I said for the dynamics that the end of the intro could be higher possibly, and the end of the first chorus to the verse was a bit weak. I'm not sure how much of it was performance versus arrangement, but yeah, I think that there could have been building interest between sections as well as the phrase by phrase that Liz was saying.
Yeah.
Also between the sections, it seemed a bit like that's the end of that, that's the end of that. Maybe there could have been more
Some
build.
kind of transitional something happening, perhaps.
Yeah, but I'm not sure if that's the voicing or the interp. I'm not, or the performance, I mean.
Yeah.
I think it might have been that tendency to go into rubato at the end of every section, because there wasn't any
Oh,
tempo
okay.
maintenance. Every section felt like an ending,
Yeah.
and then it started
Okay,
again.
maybe that's what it was. Yeah.
Well,
It
I
didn't
think
have the
so.
excitement. Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, it didn't even feel ballad style what they did, because I've heard that happen in a song, but it just didn't even, because there seemed to be no connection. Yeah. You guys are very good at this, by golly. Anything else about the
Are we
part?
budding music judges, Stu?
No, thank you.
Absolutely. I think you, especially Emily, you would be good at that. Oh, you all could be good at that. Yes, yeah. You have a good ear for that stuff. Okay, anything else that you want to say about that part before we go on?
Nope.
It did have a key change in there.
Did or
And
did not?
It did.
Did.
I thought it did.
Before
I
the
think it's
stomp.
at the end of the bridge, yeah.
Yes.
Yes. And so let's talk about where was the climax in this arrangement?
I put the tag.
I
think-
first put when it said Verdugo is here. And then I thought, well, but then they got loud again or went way up when they shout from the Great Divide.
Mhm.
So I wasn't exactly sure.
Yeah.
I think divide was their sort of, they'd obviously put the most work into that
What do you think,
that
Emily?
crescendo.
What do you think,
Um,
Emily?
I thought ultimately that the tag was probably
Mhm.
the biggest
So we
point.
have two tags and a divide and a. What did you say, Donna? Again?
Well, I said Verdugo and Divide.
Ah,
They were
yeah,
both high
yeah.
points, I thought.
Yeah. Okay, so I think it was divide because they made such a big deal out of it. And besides the word divide, they well, not because the chorus divided visually, but the chord swiped up, didn't it? Divide or whatever it was, So that's usually a big clue that that's the climax because they sort of did a fermata, a hold right there, and they built the chord swiped up, and it crescendoed, and so. And then it started right after that, right into tempo again. Yada da 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 ba ba. So there's a big clue that that's probably the climax of the song. Yeah, and but they did a good job of driving the tag all the way to the end too, and make that fun too. Yeah. Okay. Anything else about the climax you want to talk about? Okay.
Those bass hangers at the end, I've just realized how important it is that you have to have a really, really, really strong bass section to be able to pull that off.
Yes.
Because in some ways it felt a bit like a letdown. I didn't feel like it felt like they weren't maybe unified or not. I don't know if like the note wasn't really crystal clear, as if there was a little bit of discrepancy, and it made me feel a bit like it lost me. And then the bit afterwards is good because they built more, but I hadn't realized before just how percentage-wise of the chorus, you might be nice to have other singers sing that bass note so that it sounds really solid.
Well, yeah, and maybe they did. Who knows? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this is what some of the top 10 choruses will heavily recruit bass as an aim for almost 40%.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Bass membership, right?
40, 30, 20, 10. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, and there it is. You're taking a risk as a group doing something like that if you don't have the basis to support it, because I'm sure they were like out of stamina by then, because it's way at the end and you're already, doing that. And so it could be a combination of things. Could have been nerves just for that performance. I mean, you don't know. Yeah. So all the judges can do is judge what they do. I love where they go, we sounded great in the warm-up room. Oh, we sounded great last week at rehearsal. Well, what counts is what you do on stage. Yeah. So that's a toughie. Yeah. Oh, okay. So let's see. How was let's see what else we can ask here. How was the forward motion or tempo affected by the voice leading? You felt that affected it at all?
Not by voice leading.
Okay. Yeah, the
That makes
voice leading was, pretty good most of the time. Yeah. We didn't need too many crazy jumps or anything. Yeah. How about the embellishments? How did they support or enhance? Sort of talked about that a little bit already. It's I
I
feel
found
like
that the embellishments were mostly homophonic. Like there weren't really solo so much. It was more um like the embellishments were everyone singing. So there wasn't really anything except for that bass hanger. I didn't really find anything like a solo or anything that really stood out. So it was very consistent, but it was also very safe.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Mm.
So keep in mind for contests, you want it to uh you want it to be more homophonic than
Yeah.
maybe
Mm.
some of your other variety arrangements. Only
Yeah.
because homophonic usually rings better, you know, it can do
And
more
by that
overtones and stuff.
you mean that everybody's saying the same words.
Yeah, same
That's what you
words.
mean when you
Yeah.
say homophonic.
Yes.
And same rhythm. Say everyone on the
Same,
same
yes,
rhythm at the same
same
time.
rhythm. So not so you know it's okay to have like a pattern. You know how you sometimes have the melody singing something and the other parts are doing bum bum or other little patter and stuff. It's okay to do that for about 4 measures or so. But if you do it too long in the arrangement, then it would affect your score because they're looking for homophonic to ring more chords. You know.
Okay.
So. Okay, let's see. So that was pretty good. Anybody want to say anything else about the embellishments or anything? Oh, wait a minute. I think my company's trying to. Oh no, they made it in. Okay, good. We have a gate that we have to buzz in to open the gates, but part of the gates are already open because of the hurricane. They haven't redone them yet. So they made it. Okay.
Don't tell anybody.
Yeah.
Mm.
Some security. Oh, yeah. Ah. Okay, so what do you suppose? What was good? What was the overall strength of this arrangement? Would you say?
The comedy.
It was fun.
It was fun. Yeah,
Mm.
cool.
And they seem to be enjoying themselves.
Yes, yeah. You could tell they really enjoyed singing this
Mm.
song. Yeah,
Yeah.
that always makes it more fun for the audience. Yeah. So the part that really stood out to me is it it was fun, but it was also strong chords, right?
Mm.
Lots of barbershop sevenths and ninths and triads, you know, because those are going to ring more chords when the more of those kinds of chords you have. So it's nice, strong barbershop, good and strong, good voicings, you know. There weren't any spots that felt too terribly uncomfortable about like, oh, it's too high for the tenors or it's too low for the basses,
Mm.
you know. Except what you heard at the end there, Liz, which I think was a stamina problem mostly. Yeah, just
Right.
running out of
Yeah.
steam. Yeah,
Yeah. I
but
think it's just like Em said, it's kind of a percentage problem. If you've only got so many basses, you can only make so much sound. But
yeah,
one of our comp songs, one of our coaches added that bass hanger, and now I'm thinking, and then another coach came and she shortened it, and now I realize why she shortened the bass hanger because of the stamina issue, because the basses can't hold up long enough to make it sound strong at the end. Yeah, so now I know exactly why she's done that.
yes, exactly. Yep, yep.
Mm.
Oh, that's cool. All right. So, are there any other comments you want to make about this song? I'm trying to rush through it so that Liz can be here for it. You know, I hope I'm not rushing through it too terribly much. I mean,
No.
anybody have any other comments about this song? Okie dokie. Well, then we're going to go on to the next song, Sweet Adeline. All right. I'm going to share my screen again and we'll listen to that one.
To share our hearts and our music.
Went back too far. There we go.
In the evening, as I sit alone, dreaming of days gone by, love, to me so dear, so dear. There's a picture that in fancy oft appearing brings back at the time, love, when you were near. Then I wonder where you are, my darling, and if your heart to me is still the same. For the sighing wind and nightingale a singing are breathing only your own sweet name. Sweet Adeline, sweet Adeline, my Adeline. Dear heart, for you I'd pine. In all my dreams, your fair face beams. You're the flower of my heart, sweet Adeline, sweet Adeline, my Adeline. You're the flower of my heart, sweet Adeline. Woo!
Of course, not too shabby
So
of a
awesome.
performance, was it?
Fantastic.
Wow, yeah. Very dramatic. Did you feel the drama in listening to
Yeah.
that? It's like, oh, what was it that made it so full of drama?
They put expression into every single tiny little thing they could, like all the special words and everything was sort of milked as much as it could be. I think it was really
Absolutely.
impressive.
Yeah.
They maintained vocal intensity through every syllable of every
Yes.
word, and every
Yeah.
breath continued with that
Mm.
energy momentum. And they did that, they managed to do that for that entire package that year.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
Yeah. Amazing, isn't it?
the
Yeah.
amount of sort of transcendence that they achieved for their entire package was just amazing.
Yes, it's really
Mm.
phenomenal. Are you ready to go? Hey, I need to take just a little break to tell my guests
Okay.
goodbye. I'm going to pause the recording. Don't let me forget to put it back on, okay?